brother, I've got beef and I'm about to start some YouTube drama, yeah! No, I'm just kidding. I was recently inspired by a video that another Mario Theory YouTuber put out. Bubble Riff's Shy Guys Are Pointless video. I highly recommend it. It gave me a lot to think about, because I like Shy Guys, right? Like, I like Shy Guys a lot, but he makes some very good points. I've not really thought of Shy Guys as Mario enemies specifically. I've always thought of them more as Yoshi's Island enemies, in the same vein that Bowser is Mario's main villain, but Kamek is kind of Yoshi's. Mario Brothers 2, of course, featured no Yoshi whatsoever, but after that, I think Yoshi kind of jacked the Shy Guys and a few other cast members from Yoshi's Island onward. But I'm not really one to split hairs, and it's not which subdivision of the franchise Shy Guys belong to I want to talk about. It's what Shy Guys are, what they represent, what they mean in-game, and what that could be. Because I find that way more interesting, and that's the thing that Bubble Rift got into that really got my noodle baking. What is it that separates Shy Guys from, say, a Boo? Like, they both have the shyness gimmick, they're both very flexible mechanically. You can have them do a bunch of goofy things under a bunch of different goofy hats. So what is it that makes the Shy Guy distinct? And is that being used properly? Is that being utilized and swung with its greatest potential? Or are we missing a beat on what the Shy Guy is capable of as a character, as an icon and a symbol? Or just as a game mechanic? I don't know. Fear. That's what ghosts are about, right? That's what a ghost does. They are spooky. They spook people. Boo is shaped like a ghost. He's shaped like a friend, but he's shaped like a ghost. A ghoul friend, if you will. He's cute, but the intent with him living in haunted houses and having the pointy teeth and everything else, symbolically, it's pretty straightforward. He's a ghost. Ghosts say boo, hence the name. Legend goes that Shigeru Miyamoto was inspired by his co-worker's wife, who was normally very sweet, but one day was very scary. They are also very scary in terms of their behavior, gameplay-wise. That whole only coming after you when you're not looking thing, that inspired SCPs. That inspired Weeping Angels. That is fear. And that is what the Boo is about. Simple, straightforward. Ghost is spooky, and we're done. Like, Nintendo has the Boo exactly where it needs to be. It knows its niche. It knows its place. I understand it. You understand it. So in contrast, Shy Guys. Shy Guys wear masks. Beyond that simple, single similarity, Shy Guys have almost nothing in common. Some of them light themselves on fire. Some of them are thieves. Some of them are racist. Some of them are thick. Some of them are thin. Some of them are... I could keep going all day. There's a whole wiki for this. Shyness, despite being in the name, has very little to do with these characters. Surprisingly few of them are shy. I'm not even fully convinced they're all guys. But I am not here to accuse an entire fictional species of being lie guys, even if I know for a fact there are some shysters among the ranks. I think there's a very simple explanation for all of this that brings it all home, and even strengthens the connection between Shy Guys and Boos while highlighting their differences. Boos tap into your fear, but are also limited by their own. They can't approach you while you're staring at them. Fear is their strength and their weaknesses. It is their being. Shy Guys don't have a commonality beyond A, wearing a mask, and B, lacking commonality. That same blandness we've discussed, that lack of a point to the Shy Guys highlighted by Bubble Rift, it may well be the point. They may not be ghosts so much as philosophical geists. They are shiftless identities. They are personas without people. They are the shadow behind the mask. A Shy Guy becomes whatever it has to become to fit in. With its environment, with its surroundings, with its available technology. Some of them are high-tech, and some of them are very basic, and I think their adaptability is perhaps their greatest strength in that regard. They can bend to become, to fit, but they have no apparent culture of their own, no identity independent of context. They are nothing in a vacuum. And I don't just mean in the narrative or symbolic sense, I mean maybe literally. I think what's behind the mask, if they took it off, that darkness behind the eyes, is not tangible or physical or even ectoplasmic. I think it's conceptual. Just because it happened in a dream doesn't mean it didn't happen. In a world with turtle wizards and barrel airplanes, I don't think it's too outlandish to suspect astral projection or cognitive states of matter or any other number of strange connections between what we know as the real and the imagined. I haven't actually played Luigi's Dream Team, so I'm being very coy about this. But imagine some Freddy Krueger dream reality type scenario with Subcon and Mario Brothers 2, and you get the general idea of what I'm shooting at here. The question of whether or not the Mad Hatter, the White Rabbit, the Red Queen, and the Caterpillar were just Alice's fantasies or actual entities that she encountered in her dream journey is the kind of question that can spawn a franchise, a series of films, or books, or games, or songs, and Nintendo has always drawn from fairy tales, in particular Alice in Wonderland. If you disagree with that, you can eat or drink me at your leisure. My pitch here is that Subcon is just such a wonderland. It is a physical manifestation of a zeitgeist. It's an inception zone. It's a collective consciousness or unconsciousness or subconsciousness. It's a noosphere given flesh. It's a place where dreams come true in the sense that dreams manifest and materialize and have a physicality of their own within the world of Subcon. It may be a bit of wild speculation on my part, but I'm going to put forth that Shy Guys may in fact be native to Subcon, may have materialized in there first before spreading out to the physical, non-dream-based realities, and may have their roots in the collective brain power, the psychic totality of the rest of the Mushroom Kingdom Mario universe. That is why it is so horrifying to see one without a mask, because they are in fact eldritch in a way. They are alien. They are something our brain wasn't meant to process from this direction or at this angle. And so they spooky, but not in the same way that a ghost is spooky. More of an existential, anxious dread, which I think is appropriate for a Shy Guy. This is not to suggest that Shy Guys are all eldritch abominations, or that they have some sort of conceptual reality-altering power. I just think they're glitches in the Matrix. Like, I think that's just kind of their shtick. They are something akin to the idea of an identity, or a sense of self that got away, a person that isn't. They're like elementals, but instead of being made of fire or water, they're made out of a philosophical concept. They are made out of self, but they have no sense of self of their own. And as further evidence for at least Shy Guys being semi-conceptual in nature, I would like to point to the original instruction manuals for Mario Brothers 2, which featured a description of Sniffets firing bullets made out of nightmares, or evil dreams. I'm not sure if that's meant to have a separate implication or not, but the point stands. If dream bullets are on the table, I think people made out of ideas is on the table. While I'm here thinking about it, I wish they would bring back Tweeter, Bezo, and all of the other 8-bits that we haven't seen since Mario Brothers 2. There was a lot of fun character designs, and a lot of them are sort of Shy Guy adjacent in a way that goes underappreciated. Birdo keeps coming back. Why not Mauser? Why not Triclide? Bubble Rift in his video implored Nintendo to do something more adventurous with Shy Guys, and I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I thought about what could be done, and I came up with the following. Normally, Nintendo games have a fixed protagonist. It is Mario, it is Link, it is Zelda, it is whoever it is, right? It's Olimar, it's somebody who's not generic. It is a specific character chosen ahead of time by Nintendo. There aren't protagonists like you see in a Fallout game, or really any Bethesda game, where you make your own character. Nintendo does not have a Shepherd equivalent. Hi, it's me from the future. I remembered Inkling from Splatoon. Is basically this. The point still stands, we need one for Mario. And I think Shy Guy could occupy that slot to a degree. I think if Nintendo ever wants to make an open world exploration character development kind of Mario game, their hands would otherwise be a little tied, because it's been said they don't like to change the Toads too much. They don't like to take characters outside their structure too much. But Shy Guys have a unique flexibility owing to the position that they are in, owing to the type of characters they've historically always acted as. You can swap their masks out, you can paint them up, you can change the color of their robes, you can put them in funny outfits, funny hats, it doesn't matter, they're still Shy Guys. But would Nintendo let me make my own Toad or my own Koopa? I personally don't think they would. I think they're too tight about the brand. They've had this sort of insecurity about their character representation, and I don't know if that's going to get better now that they're opening their hearts to the RPGs a little more again, and now that they've had a successful movie under their belt instead of just a stinker. But if I had a hunch and they came out with a game, hypothetically today, where you had to make your own character, I don't think they would let me make a plumber or a princess or a Yoshi, but I think a Shy Guy would be flexible enough to make character customization interesting without scaring Nintendo too much. Shy Guys just kind of waddle on that line between real character and stand-in, and I think that by riding that line even harder, they can find more of a groove for themselves in the broader media. And by that, what I really mean is they can become even more popular and sell even more toys. Nintendo, if you just want to hire, I think that's where Shy Guy should be used. Basically in any situation where you would otherwise want a Mii, but without making it into a full-blown Nintendo multiverse Smash Brothers type production and keeping it within the bounds of Mario. Or, more specifically, maybe within the bounds of Yoshi. If you just wanted to have some sort of flexible side character for a Yoshi game, if I just take a Goomba and give it a beard, that seems like a new character entirely. If I take a Bob-omb and put an eye patch on him, we've got a new character. But a Shy Guy with interchangeable parts like a Mr. Potato Head is a character and it isn't a character. You don't have to name that, you don't have to do anything with it besides provide it as an option, and it pretty much sells itself. It's a gimmick without a character necessary, a character that is a gimmick. It's perhaps a character for a player that doesn't know what other character they want to play, or if they don't want to identify as a character. Maybe they're not familiar with the Mario cast or the Yoshi cast, or maybe they're just shy. I just want you to, for a moment, Imagine with me, picture in your mind, a black toad. Look me in the eye and tell me that Nintendo is brave enough yet. Baby steps. If we ever get customizable characters that represent the players in a Mario-flavored game, I think that Shy Guys are going to be the first of many baby steps. Or they can be. I think they could be the smoothest, softest potential way to start kicking things down that lane, if Nintendo wakes up feeling that kind of froggy one day. I also think Shy Guys work well, or decently enough, as Yoshi's de facto Goomba. There definitely feels like a separation between Mario proper and, say, the Donkey Kong franchise, the Wario franchise, and individually Yoshi, and we don't see a lot of characters like Raphael Raven or even Kamek show up in Mario Party or Kart often, if at all. But rather than suggest Shy Guys should be banished to some sort of Yoshi's Island quarantine zone, I'm going to suggest the opposite, that we open the borders and let characters from all of the franchise subdivisions be respected in roughly the same fashion. Bring in more RPG characters. Bring in Ashley from WarioWare and Captain Syrup. Bring in more Kremlings and more Kongs. Bring it all in, buddy. We're one big happy family here, and we gotta stop pretending that some of these games just don't happen because they happened under a different development team or a different genre. Bring back Wart. Bring back Tatanga. Give Daisy your own game. Bubble Rift in his video pretty much said it best, I think, without even realizing it. I didn't even realize it at the time.
And while I can relate to that,
I think Shy Guys work well as the relatable one, as the one that can be the player. He can stand in for you, he can stand in for me, he can stand in for whatever he sees, whatever he finds, whatever he stumbles across. He could be funny, he could be serious, he could be a survivor in a horror scenario, he could be whatever. And I think Nintendo has something powerful on their hands with that. But it's hard to notice because, well, he's a Shy Guy. I also think that Dreams have a lot of potential for gameplay, plots, characters, all sorts of things, and I would love to see Nintendo revisit the idea of Subcon, not necessarily just as a setting, but just as a baseline idea, the idea of a world made of dreams, steeped in dreams, especially within the context of a world already as fantastical as Mario's is. I think there's a lot of interesting things you could do with that. Again, I have not played Dream Team. I know I should really play Dream Team. I'm sorry, I have not played Dream Team. In a game that features a lot of dream themes, though, I think Shy Guys would make a great sort of ambassador, a mascot character. They could deal with that, be familiar with that, and that could give them a setting-specific niche or an environment-specific niche that really separates them even from the Goombas and the Koopas, and not just the Boos. Shy Guys could be the guys for dreams, the way that Lumas are kind of the guys for space, and now that I think about it, the Zelda game that Shy Guys first appeared in specifically was Link's Awakening, a game that takes place in a big old dream. The potential is there. In a way, they've been doing it the whole time. It's just been so understated and so meaningless. But if we just leaned into it a little bit, I think the year of the Shy Guy could be nigh. That's what I'm feeling. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to me and Rift Bubble. I'm pulling a tag team switcheroo on you. Yeah, you thought I was gonna beef with him, but they're actually taking this show on the road. We're gonna win the championships. I don't even know this guy. I have probably freaked him straight out with this video. I'm so sorry, Rift Bubble.